Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajilan. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if this is your first time of checking out my channel, you're welcome. Please do subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you get to know anytime I put up a new video. So guys, for today's tutorial, I'm going to share with you how to make an open back bodice for a baby girl. So if you're interested, let's move down to work. As you can see, my pattern paper is on fold, and for you to determine how many inches to be on fold, all you have to do is to check the child's measurement. That is the area that is very big. For example, for this particular girl, the chest area is the biggest, and most times for children dresses, the chest area is always the biggest. But sometimes kids with big tummy, just check the measurement that is the biggest. So for this is 28 inches, which is the chest measurement. So 28 inches divided by 4, that is 7 inches. Now if you want to add that, you add the half inch for the dart, making it 7.5, plus 1 inch for your seam, that is 8.5. That is how to determine what is supposed to be on fold. Okay, so here I have 9 inches, which is very okay as well. So now the bodice length for this, I'll be using an 8-year-old measurement. So the bodice length is 12 inches, but I'll add 1 inch for seam, making it 13 inches. Okay, so this is 13 inches here. This is 13. Okay. So I'll connect it to a straight line. Like I said earlier, always have a line as a guide. Okay, so this is the line there, and this is the bodice length. I am starting with the front. So I will insert the shoulder measurement, which is 12 inches. So that is 12 divided by 2, because my paper is on fold. I'll have 6. Okay, but if you want to add a sleeve to the dress, always add your half inch for your seam. But for this, I'm not adding any sleeve. So by the time I finish sewing the neckline and the armhole side, I will have exactly what I want. Okay, so now I will come down by half inch, which is the shoulder slope. This is half inch here. Okay, so for the neck width, I'll be using 2 3/4, which is here. Okay, it's up to you. If you want it very wide, you can also use 3 inches, but this I'm very okay. So here I'll use 3 inches, that is the neck depth here, and I'll connect this point to this point. Okay, so now I'll just give here any shape of my choice. Okay, I'm okay with this. Okay, so this is the neckline. So here now I'll come down by 6 inches, which is the armhole measurement. So here is 6 inches for the armhole. I'll also insert the same measurement what I have here, which is 6, and I'll connect it. Okay, so after connecting it, this is now the chest line. Okay, so now check what I have from this point to this point. Remember, it's 6, so half of that is 3. So I'll mark that point. This is the midpoint now. I'll come in by 3/4 inch, because I will not be adding sleeve like I said earlier to this dress. So this is it. Here we have already calculated it. This is 7, that is 28 divided by 4, which is the chest measurement, plus half for that, and plus 1 inch, okay, for seam allowance, and that is the point there. So now I will now connect it to this point. You can also use your hand to trace this. So this is what I have. So the next thing is to insert the waist measurement, which is 26 inches. So I'll be making use of 6 1/4 plus half, remember, which is for the darts, then 1 inch for seam, and I'll connect, and the front is ready. So I will now move to the back side and show you how to make the open back bodice, which is the main purpose of this tutorial. Okay, so this is the front. Let me just cut it out first. Fold, we used 9 inches, but because we'll be adding 1 inch for zip, so I'll be making it now 10 inches. So 10 inches now will be on fold. Okay, so now I have 10 inches on fold. I will now mark out my line. Remember, I will always advise to have a line as a guide. So this is the line for my own. Okay, then I'll remove the 1 inch for the zipper by the side. So this is 1 inch here. Mark that all the way down. Then I'll connect it. Okay, so this is the zipper. Now I will now insert the length. Remember, the bodice length, we are using 13 inches. 1 inch is for the seam. So this is 13 inches there, almost at this point. So I'll connect it to a straight line. Okay, and I'll join this. So after that, I will insert the shoulder measurement, what I did with the front. So this is 6 inches here. Remember, everything will end on this line because at the end of the day, this zipper will be inside. So this is 6 inches here plus ½ inch. I'll use ½ inch for the shoulder slope, which is here. Remember, the neck width, we use 2 3/4, which is here. Okay, then I'll connect to this point first. Now I'll come down by 6 inches, which is the armhole measurement. So from this point, this is 6 inches here. I will also insert the shoulder measurement, which is here, and I'll connect it to a straight line like this. Okay, so this is the chest line as well. So for this back, because I will not be adding a sleeve, I would like to make it the same shape with the front. But if you're adding a sleeve, all you have to do is, after marking out your chest measurement, you just connect straight to the line. But I want to have exactly this shape too for the back, so I'll be doing the same thing I did here as well. Okay, so this is optional. You can decide, choose the one that you really like. Okay, so this is 6 inches. This is the midpoint, and I'll come in by 3/4, exactly the same thing I did with the front. Okay, now I will insert the chest measurement, which is 7 inches plus ½ for that, and 1 inch for seam allowance. Okay, now the waist, I'll do the same thing, 6 1/4 plus ½ which is for that, and 1 inch for seam allowance, and I'll connect all the points. Okay, so now I'll connect this. I'll use my French curve and connect this as well. So for the back neck depth, I'll be using 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch. I'll just connect it. Okay, so now for the main tutorial for today. Here now you can determine if you want to have like 1 inch extra, maybe to fix in your button or your bow for the upper part. So but for me, I would like to use 2 inches. By the time I'm done joining, I'll end up having 1.5. So this is the point here. That is the 2 inches. Okay, remember this is the line where the open back, where we are going to open it at the back. Okay, so this is the point here. Now you can determine how open or how wide you want it to be, but for me, I don't want it to be too wide. So from the waist area, okay, I'll be coming up by 5 inches. Okay, from the waist, I'll be coming up by 5 inches, which is here. But if you don't want it too big like this, you can also use 6. 6 is very okay for the girl. So this is the point here from the waist, which is 5 inches. Okay, and I'll just note the point. Okay, this is where our circle or any shape you decide to use will come in just here. Now the next thing to do is to determine the length from the armhole to where you want the opening. So for me, I'll be using 2 inches from this line. Okay, so this is 2 inches. It's up to you. You can decide to use more or less. So now it's time to put in, the curve or the shape you want. Okay, if you want it too wide, you just take it very wide. But if you don't want it, everything is just your choice. Okay, so now I've noted this point here. Okay, so I will check what I have from this point now to this line, which is 3.5. Okay, from this point, I'll bring it up here. This is the point, 3.5. And I'll do the same thing here. Remember, this is where we want the opening to end. So whatever shape we are giving it will come now like this and come out this way. So if you have anything that can give you the circle shape, it's up to you. Okay, but I'll try and see if I can manage with my curve. But if I can't, I will just use my free hand and do it. By the time I'm sewing, I can now give it exactly the shape that I really want. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can use this. Okay, so now I will now move it like this. It's not really fine, but when you're cutting it, you can now give it the real circle. Okay, so now before cutting it out, remember here, if you have been following my tutorials, you should be familiar with this by now. Here I'll come up by half. Okay, and I'll just connect it to this point so that by the time you join the front with the back, what I have, as you can see, I later reduce it because I really want here to be 2 inches. Okay, so I just reduce it a bit and I curve it. So now I'll just open it up and I'll place it on my fabric and cut out. Then I'll now sew it so that you can see how it looks on the main fabric. Okay, I'll be working with. I'll now place it. I'll start with the front and place it over on this fabric like this, and I'll cut it out. they look. This is how the front looks, and this is how the back looks. Okay, so now as you can see, I've cut it out on my lining as well. So now I will start by stitching the shoulders together. Okay, so I will stitch this together and I'll do the same on the lining as well. Then I'll come back and show you. So as you can see, I've joined the shoulders together and I did the same on the lining. So now I will now place it over, making sure the front is facing the other front. Then I will start by sewing the neckline from the back. I'll just sew it all the way down. Let me just do it step by step so that you see. Let me just sew it first. So as you can see, I've done that. All I did was to give it notches here and there. Then I top stitch. So this is it. So after that, now I will turn it over like this. That is the making sure that the front is facing the other front. So now I will sew stitch here. I will not be using button for this. I'll be using a little bow. So there'll be no need. It's just for me to close it up. So I will now stitch it like this, and I will sew the circle. Okay, let me just do that first. So this is it. As you can see, I've just closed it up and I've given it a notch here and there. So the next thing to do now is to close the armhole. After doing that, I will now turn it over. Okay, so let me just close it first. So as you can see, I've closed it up. So now I will just turn it over. So guys, this is what I have after giving it a good press. As you can see, it's already looking beautiful. But if you don't really want it to be big like this, all you have to do is to reduce. Okay, if you want it bigger than this, it's up to you. So as you can see, it's a very simple and easy open back bodice to make. You can actually make this for any age of your choice. So that is it for today. Please subscribe if you have not and turn on the notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.